What is up, Wise Take Nation? Shocky, why? Just why? Can you just tell me why?
You made fun of my mustache, so I grow a full beard.
Well, so it's my fault, is what you're telling me.
It is.
I am to blame.
It is.
Great. All right. Well, I wasn't sure if you were going to tie it in somehow with a golfer you like this week or some other detail, but nope. It's because I made fun of your mustache.
It's just
All
you.
right. Good. Glad we got that out of the way. So, what is up, Wise Take Nation? It is your boy, BrewMedic47 here with my bearded friend, Shocky. What's going on, Shocky? How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good about this week. It's always fun at Torrey Pines.
Yes, the legendary Torrey Pines. Yeah, so this week we have the God, why am I drawing a blank right now? The Farmers Insurance Classic?
Open.
Open? Yes, Farmers Insurance Open. There it is. Yep. I always mix up Open, Classic, Express. There's so many fucking names for these fucking tournaments. So, welcome everyone. Shocky grew a beard, so he claims. I have my doubts about its authenticity, but we'll leave that as it is. Yeah, the beard's a little darker there, guys. It's a shade darker. Just a little bit. So, all right. So, before we get into this week, let's recap how our weeks went last week. I actually won some money last week, so that was exciting. Nice bounce back from the first week, which was horrible. Cash sucked again, but luckily I had one pretty decent GPP lineup. I played 3 GPP lineups, and I had one that was decent. Actually won me a $100 ticket and a $9 satellite, and then some other mid-range cashes with that one. I was live in like the PME tournament and some other like good tournaments. I think I was like 50th in the PME and like top 150 in the birdie. That I threw it in as a hedge, and going into Sunday with a 6 of 6, and everyone just fell apart. Matt Every shot like 10 over. No one did anything. Scheffler lost the lead, wound up losing the event. So, yeah, as is the usual for me and my PGA lineups, everything fell off on Sunday, and that's kind of what happens to me. So, how about you, Shocky? Tell me about your week. How'd you do?
Well, it was going great until Paul Casey, who bogeyed one hole through 65 holes, which was a double bogey, goes back-to-back doubles and pars out, goes from top 5 to T22 in 2 holes.
Oh.
But the Ricky fade, he destroyed the 2 easy courses, but then when he played the stadium course back-to-back days, combined 3 under, but the 15 under from the 2 other courses saved him.
Yep.
So if he played him, that was good. It's just, if he doesn't go off on those 2 days, he probably winds up in the 30s, 40s. But I had Answer second, Scotty third, and Ryan Moore, who I was high on, finished fourth. Then I had a couple other guys in the top 10. Bug Cauley played amazing. That final day went off. He finished at 20 under. Then I had a top 64th in the 50 cent mini max and finished 71st because Harris English decided to shoot 2 over on the final day. But other than that, I won money on the showdown lineups, even though I played Paul Casey both days. Well, Saturday, bogey free. He was low owned everywhere, and I was surprised, but I mean, he did fine. Didn't kill the lineup.
No, definitely not.
But he destroyed a possible winning lineup, though. Well, other than that, it was profitable because the showdowns it would have been more if Paul Casey would have not blown up in the final 7 holes.
Yeah. I mean, I felt good about my fades. I faded Fowler, Finau, and Benyon. Fowler, he was the top price guy, and he did not win. So to me, that's a solid call. Finau did all right. Yeah, he did all right. And then Benyon, who I thought was going to win the whole event.
I mean, Sunday in?
His like 5 holes in, when he played six holes and had like 5 birdies. And then he fell off and wound up missing the cut. So
that quadruple bogey, and then he couldn't gain anything after that, even to the next round.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he had a quad, and then that just blew his game up. So, it just goes to show that golf is funny sometimes. And, yeah, I mean, I played M. Casey. Howell, CH3, missed the cut, but I guess it came out later he was dealing with some kind of injury or illness or something. So, and we just didn't know about that going into the event. So,
Lucas Glover just blows up on the second day and then goes off on the third day to miss the cut by 1.
Yeah, Taylor shot like a 64 or 65 on Saturday to make the cut.
And doesn't do anything on Sunday.
There's nothing on Sunday. Yeah, it was a weird week, but
Landry just played lights out.
Yeah, he did. And that's what's weird about golf is like he had like 5 missed cuts in a row. He was coming in no form. Like there's no reasonable reason that you should have looked at his recent stats and been like, oh yeah, he's a play. It's just the way golf is. Golf is funny like that.
And then almost blows it while Answer's just shooting 9 under and then he barely wins.
Yeah, Answer balled out.
I didn't expect that from him, but
no.
The final round boosted him from middle of the pack to just second.
Yeah. Real quick, everyone, I'll mention I am at work, working overtime tonight. So if I do catch a call, I'll have to run, and that'll be Shocky's problem. Yeah, but it was a good event. Courses were beautiful. It's nice to watch a little bit of golf here and there. But yeah, so let's get into this week. The Farmers Insurance Open. We're playing at the legendary Torrey Pines Country Club, the North and the South course. I'll do my quick little course preview read, and then we'll get into our plays. Real quick about this week is it's another rotation, but there's only 2 courses. So they play the North course and the South course once, Thursday, Friday. And then there's the cut. So we get our 65, top 65 in ties after 36 holes, cut. And then they play the South course Saturday and Sunday. This is noteworthy because, as you will find out, the courses are very different.
They also redesigned the North course before last year's event, is why Justin Rose went off at the North course, almost shooting a record for 54 holes, and made it much easier. Yes. So that's why he went from 20-some under to no one's hit 20 under as a winner like ever.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yep. Because this is a public course. Both these courses are public courses. So they want them to be playable. They want people to be able to come to Torrey Pines and not get slaughtered and not lose, 24 golf balls. So they did make the North course a lot easier for the public, really. I mean, and it's one of the things. It's one of those rare, PGA Tour level courses that are actually open to the public, like Pebble Beach and Bethpage. So let's see. This week, PGA Tour remains on the West Coast and heads down the road to La Jolla, California, and the legendary Torrey Pines Country Club for the Farmers Insurance Open. This course is legendary stop on the PGA Tour, and this is the very first full field event that we have that can truly be considered a strong field event. Also, we have Tiger. This tournament marked the very beginning of his incredible comeback 2 years ago that ended with his victory at the PGA Championship. I literally shed a tear watching Tiger finish his putt for that W. So there is a bit of history here, and Tiger's played this course 1,000 fucking times, and he regularly says it's one of his favorite courses. Anyways, this week is unique all on its own. We have 2 courses our players will tackle this week: the South and the North. I pretty much already said all this. The North course at Torrey Pines is a 7,250-yard par 72 and is much in capitals, much easier than the South course. This course was redone in 2016 with the intent to make it easier for the average golfer, as this complex is one of the few munis on the tour. Courses that are owned by public governments and open to the public. The other one of note would be Bethpage Black in my own backyard. My backyard was a 2.5-hour drive away. As a result, the greens were expanded, the fairways were widened, and a bunch of bunkers were removed. Basically, the goal here is for the golfer to take advantage of these 18 holes of scoring and move on to the next day. Personally, I prefer to play golfers that start Thursday on the South course, the Hart course, and hope that they can grind out par before playing here on Friday to give them a nice hefty cushion going into the weekend. It has been decades since someone shot over par on this course, the South course, and won the tournament. So yeah, you need to. Oh, I'm sorry. On the South, yes, on the North course. It's been decades since someone shot over par on the North course and won the tournament because of how easy it is. Typically, golfers that have played majors here have spent their time on the South course and haven't had that much exposure to the North course outside of this tournament. The only thing that can make this course a real bitch is the coastal winds, but I haven't really looked at weather. I don't like looking at weather until we're a little closer to the event. But have you looked at anything weather-wise, Shocky?
Not for coastal until tomorrow would be the better weather update.
Yeah. Okay, so the South course. Strap in, fellas. This one is a monster. The South course is a 7,700 yard par 72. With the standard 4 par 3s and 4 par 5s. Par 5s are monsters, averaging around 590 yards, with the shortest being the 560-yard 6th hole, which also happens to be the easiest hole here. Very few golfers here will be able to hit the green in 2 shots on these par 5s, and of the 6 holes here that have a birdie percentage above 15%, these par 5s make up 4 of them, with a birdie percentage of around 30%. You have to score on these par 5s. This course was designed to be a major host, and it has achieved that goal perfectly. With a redesign in 2001 that had one purpose: make it fucking hard. From the tee box, golfers will have to contend with very narrow tree-lined fairways with a large amount of bunkers in the 280 to 320 landing zones. These fairways are very hard to hit, and the rough here is very penal. Expect a lot of approach shots to come from this rough. On approach, these greens are much smaller than tour average and have a lot of undulation to them. These greens are also very narrow and long from front to back, and they're heavily guarded with bunkers and that brutal rough we talked about before. We also have a lot of these greens that are placed in very dangerous areas for errant shots. You can easily find yourself down a cliff or in the water, ocean, if you get too much of your approach shot. These greens are very fast POA grass, which tends to be a little more bumpy and unpredictable. You have to have experience with these greens to know how to read them. POA putting. It's huge. The nature of these approach shots will lead most golfers to land their ball towards the rear of the green, where it's a little safer, and then make a first putt downhill towards the hole. This course plays tough and will require guys to grind out par and capitalize on their chances to make birdie. The cut line here is pretty regularly over par, and the winning score is has been right around -10, except for last year, depending on the weather. Shocky, how was that? Anything you want to add? Anything I forgot?
Nope. It's long and hard is the key here. And if scrambling will come into play, if you do not hit these tight fairways. So that is a factor I added in. And it's just key to be accurate. Like the accurate bombers are going to have the best approach shots here.
Chief. Good night, Chief.
So Obviously, it's not that important because I can't remember.
So I will continue here as he talks to Chief. Yeah, basically, I broke it down. I want always good ball striking and people that.
All right.
Okay. I was talking about. I added par three
how much
scoring.
did you hear? Just to be clear, how much did you actually hear me talking at all? Or
I heard, "Hey, Chief. Good night, Chief."
yeah.
And then he had to talk to you about something important.
Not really important.
Okay. Well, I was just added that I added par three. Who is good on these long par threes as into my model, as they are. 3 of them are over 200 yards. So that will play a factor. And par 4 scoring is a lot of the tough. As the par 5s come into the 4 easiest, really, for birdies, I see. And then par 4s are the more difficult ones. So I want to make sure that was critical in who is better at strokes gained par 4 scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, my model, I mean, it's putting, it's approach, birdie or better. You know, you got to make birdies when you get a chance to get birdies, and you got to avoid bogeys when you get a chance to avoid bogeys. Par 5, scrambling, greens and reg, and then a couple proximity ranges that a lot of these, because especially for this, I mean, and again, you really got to prioritize the South course for any kind of model or anything that you're building. Because, I mean, that's the one they're playing 3 out of the 4 days, and that is the super difficult, drastically different course at this complex. So that's really what I was gearing my model towards. Because everyone should be able to score on the North course. So that's my working theory. And I actually had a decent week at the Farmers last year. So looking at my results from last year. So, all right, you want to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. 10K and up. We are back to our normal 5 golfers. We have Rory McIlroy at the top, all the way on down to X-Man Xander Schauffele. Oh, Florida is just scoring at will right now. Who do you like, and who are you fading in this range?
There is only one guy I'm not considering in this range, and that's Xander Schauffele.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play much Xander, really. And no cut events. He loves no cut events, but I don't know. I never find myself playing much Xander. And so he doesn't play much events to begin with, really, unless they're big name events. So, but my top guy is John Rahm. This guy is going to be the man for a while. Like, he plays all over the place, all over the world, and he just still dominates. He's played well at this course, 9th in tee to green in the last 9 rounds here. 40th in putting in mine, 4th in my model. Somehow he's 97th in opportunities gained is the only reason he's not number 1, which that's not going to, he's due for some major positive regression there. 3 times he's played this as he is younger, T5, T29, and won it in his first year playing it. And he's only played 2 events, which was Century, came in 10th, and at the Hero, which he came in 2nd. Then, still, 11,600 is Rory McIlroy. I mean, he's always in play, doesn't miss cuts. Just, he needs to come top 5 or better. And he can do it if his putting's acting right, because you never know with Rory's putting. I always find he is either amazing or bad for his standards. But he did rank first in my model. Nothing below, like I added good drives, and he's 47th, and that's his worst. I mean, he's top 5 in 5 categories. He's played 2 events as well, first and T3. He's won 1, tied for 3rd. I mean, and he tied for 5th last year. That was the only time he's played in the last 5 years, too, which is weird at this kind of event.
Yeah, he's never really played here.
No. And then he played, and then he just came and tied for 5th. And then Justin Rose, He's played here great, second in tee to green in his last 14 rounds. And his history, won it, tied for 8th, tied for 4th, and then 2 cuts. So, I mean, I don't know where the 2 cuts come from when you make 3 top 10s and win it. Just had bad weekends. Must have not dominated the North Course.
I think, I don't know. Yeah, that's weird for Rose. I'm trying to remember if he was hurt or not.
Oh, sometimes his irons get a little wacky, where he can't hit greens, and he has to rely a lot on the scrambling.
Yeah.
Only 2 events as well as most of these top guys. They don't need to play much. Their form is always there. Tied for 5th in T28. And a little bit, he's 64th in putting, which is on these types of greens, which is weird for Rose being the putter that he is. And then it's just Tiger Woods. You have to include Tiger Woods if you're making multiple lineups. I know he hasn't played well here to his standards, but no one's played this golf course more than him. And he will, if he misses a cut, it will be a surprise. He missed a cut 3 years ago, but that was during his injury, trying to come back and all that, where he just wants to play here. But he can win this event at any time, even if the stats don't show it. 17th in my model, not great at putting, but it's just this course. I mean, there's few events that you just have to play Tiger Woods, even though the stats don't include it. I mean, it's still Tiger Woods, and it's Torrey Pines. And that will be 4 out of the 5, but I will take those 4 out of the 5. They're all great plays, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. For this top range, I try to narrow my field down a little bit more. You know, I usually play my cash lineup, and then 3 other. I do like a 3-entry max kind of deal for golf. That's my wheelhouse I'm trying this year. So I mean, I'm with you on X. I'm off Xander. I'm not playing Xander. Like you, who was first in your model?
Rory was number 1 in the model.
Yeah, he was first in mine too. He was first in my model as well, but I don't know if I'm going to play him this week. 11-6, top-priced golfer. I have a thing about top-priced players.
Anything.
DFS. I scream about not ever playing the top-priced goalie, and I don't really remember the last time fading the top-priced golfer. Like when was the last time the top-priced golfer actually won a tournament? Obviously he had an outstanding year last year. He's coming in cold. I mean, he hasn't played anything since last year. So yeah, I don't know. He's super expensive. There's all of this is because of how his last year was. But that was last year. So there's no doubt Rory is Rory. He could smoke this field, but I'm taking a stand. I mean, an event like this with this high level of a field, you got to take a stand. So that stand for me is going to be not playing Rory, which means I love Rombo, Tiger Woods, and Justin Rose. I played Rose last year. He won me a good amount of money. Tiger's Tiger. I was on the fence about him because he didn't do that well here last year. But I think he's a much different golfer this, on the Tuesday before the Farmers this year than he was on the Tuesday before the Farmers last year. So, yeah, I think he's in a good spot there. And Rahm is Rahm. He's had an unbelievable, he had a really good off season. He's got great course history here. First a T5th and a T29th. Hard to beat that. And really the only person that beats that course history is Justin Rose, who has a first, a T8, and a T4. And then some missed cuts. But, yeah, so that's going to be it for me. Rahm, Woods, and Rose. No Rory, no Schauffele on the bookends. I'll get down to this 9K range. There's a couple plays in here that I like. First off is going to be Hideki. Hideki's going to be a cash viable play for me. I don't know if I'm going to get him in my core but he is going to be very much viable. He's going to be uber chalk in cash. He's going to be incredibly popular this week. Just another guy, good history here. T3 last year. Decent form, T12 at the Sony, but he's second in my GPP model. So I'm probably going to take him out of cash and maybe play him in GPPs instead. I don't know. He's very much cash viable, though. I mean, he has the game to excel here. He's done well here in the past. He's an elite iron golfer, and that's really what you need here. So I don't know if I'm going to pay $9,900. Moving on, we have Woodland. Woodland I will pay for. Woodland's going to be a cash core play for me. He's 12th in my GPP model. The question with Woodland is always the putting. How's he going to do with his putter? But, again, outstanding history here. Hasn't missed a cut in the last 5 years. Top 10 last year, T12 the year before, T20, T18. Outstanding history. Coming in good form, back-to-back top sevens. Between the Hero and the TOC. I love Gary personally. Gary won me a ton of money at the U.S. Open last year. So, so did Rose. The Woodland Rose pairing did very well for me at the U.S. Open. Love Woodland. He's going to be a cash play for sure for me. Then we have Finau. I'll definitely be on Finau this week after I was off him last week. He played well last week. He really did. T14 is not bad at all. He's pretty cheap at $9,300. And he does good in these big, strong field events. Last 4 years here, T13, T6, T4, T18. And then a T24 and 15. So great history here. Coming in good form. Definitely like Finau. And Patrick Reed. I think I might get back on the Reed train this week. T23 2 years ago. T13. Wow, Florida is pouring it on. Withdrawal back in 16. So some weird history here, but T23, T13, moved in the right direction. In good form. Kind of a chip on his shoulder. 16th in my model, so he's in the top 20. And that's going to be, I'm going to play Reed. So Florida 3 again. Vetrano again. Wow. I took him out of my lineup too. I'm an idiot. All right, your turn. What do you got, Shocky? What do you like for the 9K range?
I am not playing Hideki. He's great for cash. He'll make the cut. He always does.
Yep.
It's just, what does he do on Sundays? He's just doesn't seem like he goes by and gets you a top 25, which is nice, but it's like his win equity always seems super low. I mean, I hope that changes this year because I love him, because he's so consistent. He never really blows up any time, but I need to see that upside in him for that price. Not on Reed. He just, in my personal model, he's 63rd, and he just has been hitting fairways. His driver's been all over the place. Great at scrambling, but just terrible for me at fairways gained. But I am on Woodland, Finau. Those are my top two plays, and my true boom or bust of this 9K range ranks 97th in model, but Jason Day here. Yeah,
he's got a very weird history here, but
that's why he's the true boom or bust in this upper price range.
Yep.
He fifth, won it, cut, won it. He's great at putting. At these third in putting on these types of POA greens.
Yeah, he loves POA.
Loves POA. If he can just find something, that's how he wins these things, because he's great at putting at these things. But you catch him on a bad, he's so inconsistent. He's such a better golfer to be so inconsistent. I don't know why he is, but it's either
with injury. I mean, he's been hurt. Yeah. I mean, those 2 years that he missed the cut, that was right in the middle of all of his back shit. So.
Yeah. And then comes out and does amazing. Even in between vents, it just seems like he's, like even last year, he was back and forth of being good and bad. But maybe he's past all that. but he has win equity here, or he is going to bust, depending on how his just everything works out. If he's got everything fixed, he didn't play much. I mean, his recent form isn't good, but I mean, he's just another little course horse guy that I'll take a chance on at 9K. Not a main lineup kind of play because of his bust capabilities, but definitely when I make a few lineups, he will be. And that will do it for my 9K range. Only 3 guys, but I love Woodland in this range. Love Finau, and then Jason Day is my course horse special.
Sweet.
Then
So
I'll
you
take
get
it
8K.
8K range. It will be 8,000 on the money. Between 8 and 9K is Ryan Palmer. For 8,000, I love Ryan Palmer this week. He's done well at this course. Putting, that's the only concerning thing. But he's 9th in my model. He is 6 in opportunities gained. The only really bad thing is scrambling, but he's been hitting fairways, 25th in fairways, 28 in good drives, and 27th in ball striking. He has, in his recent form, he has made all 5 cuts, 2 top 10s, 2 top 25s, and came T13th last year and second the year before. I mean, for $8,000, I love Ryan Palmer in that exact middle range there. And then I'll go back to Cameron Smith, who I liked at the Sony Open. He's great at putting here. He has good history. He's actually number 1 in putting on POA greens in the last 36 rounds. He T9th last year, T20, T33rd, and then cut. 42nd in my model, but I mean, it's more of like he does well at putting on POA greens and has good course history here. And 3 top 10s in his recent form, 6 or 7 cuts, and 2 top 25s and 1 at the Sony. Scotty Scheffler, who's just been a man on a mission ever since getting his tour card. No history here, obviously, as he just got his tour card basically. But he's just been dominating every field. It's going to be interesting to see how he actually puts on. He's 142nd putting, but he doesn't have that much experience on these type of POA greens. So it is a little concerning, but he's just been nailing everything. He's 5th in my model. And if he can continue his success at just ball striking approach, he should have a good weekend. And then it comes to just a course history playing Brandt Snedeker. Not great in my model at all, but these guys just come into this course and just love playing at Torrey Pines. They just do, and he is 15th in tee to green and 3rd in total strokes over his last 22 rounds at Torrey Pines. 7th in putting at POA. And 4 cuts with 2 top 25s. And then I'll take another young guy that's never played at this course in Colin Morikawa at 8,900. As he just attacks everything. He's going to be a guy that will try every single hard shot and just go for pins. He's a pin seeker at all times. And his caddy will approve it. He'll just go for everything. He's 11th in ball striking, 10th in approach, and 17th in par 4 scoring. Not great at long par 3s, but he usually makes it up just birding those par 4s, and he should dominate these par 5s with ease. And then I'll take, greatly in love with a lot of 8K range, but I'll take a chance on Mark Leishman, who has decent course history. It was between him and Billy Horschel. And it was the recent form of Leishman, who's been playing better than Horschel, especially after Horschel did absolutely nothing last weekend at an easy event, which was very concerning when he can't dominate 2 easy courses. Leishman did his T43, T8, T20, cut, T27. Like, 8,300. If you make him multiple lineups, you need another mid-range play. I'd consider him. Not over enthusiastic, but I mean, I'm not playing Jordan Spieth. I don't play Jordan Spieth is. I don't like playing Jordan Spieth ever, really.
Yeah, I'm completely with you.
Neiman, I'm a little concerned about.
Yep.
He's not been accurate off the tee. Wolf, not been accurate off the tee. Terrible in approach. And that's about it for the 8K range. So, yeah, it will be Palmer, Smith, Scheffler, Snedeker, Morikawa, and Leishman.
Yeah, so I'm with you on Morikawa and Scheffler. I'm a little concerned that they've never played here before. Typically, we see guys who play here for their first time not typically do well, but I think these guys are really in a class of their own in terms of the new golfers on tour. Oh, good. Chicago finally scored. Yeah, everything you said. There are really only blemishes or their putting. So, yeah, the rest of their game is elite. Morikawa is first in this field, strokes gained approach, last 50 rounds. So, no Smith for me. He got his win. I'm not going to ride the hype train there. I'm with you on Neiman. He grades out really well in my GPP model, and I do like him a lot. He was the uber chalk last year. He was uber chalk last year. And he missed the cut. LOL. Where was he? How much was he here last year?
Probably cheap. He was young. He's only 21, so he was like a rookie last year.
I know I wrote him up. Maybe not. No. Well. I thought I wrote him up. Anyways, weird. So yeah, he missed the cut. Or no, he finished like almost dead last. It was someone else was super chalky, and did actually miss the cut. But yeah, T72 here last year.
Which is a miscut this year.
What was that?
Which is a miscut this year.
Which is now a miscut. Yes. Moving on down the line here. No Spieth, duh. Obviously, I'm not. I mean, he's gonna be like 1% owned, which is interesting, but no. Sneds is a cash core play for me. Again, doesn't grade out terribly well in my model, similar to yours, but he just fucking loves this course. Goddamn. No missed cuts here in the last 5 years. He's got a win in 2016. T62 last year, T45 the year before, T9 and 17, kind of moving in the wrong direction. But Sneds also struggled a little bit last year before kind of righting the ship at the end. And I think I could see him staying there and maybe doing a little more work on his game and getting the ship righted a little bit more. So he's going to be a cash play. See, I have Finau. I know back up to 9K. I put Finau down as a cash viable play. And Scheffler, I think, is cash viable as well. Again, just because of how he's playing. I think he's absolutely can make the cut here. Moving down the line, we have Leishman. Yeah, I like Leishman. He's, again, solid numbers, 22nd in my GPP model. Nothing overwhelmingly terrible. Decent history here. Missed the cut in 16, but a couple decent performances since. And then Palmer. Yeah, he's cash viable for me. Like you said, doesn't grade out tremendously well in my GPP model, but again, has very, very solid numbers. I like to say no red numbers. Everything's blue-green. So nothing's too terrible. And yeah, really fucking good history here. Only 2 years he's played, T2 and a T13. So I think he can definitely... I think he's viable in GPPs, too. I don't think anyone's jumping on fucking to play Ryan Palmer.
No one ever plays Ryan Palmer.
At Torrey Pines. So, yeah, I might have a good chunk of him. I'll head up into this 7K range. We'll open it up with Lanto Griffin. Definitely like Lanto. 13th in my GPP model. Putting really well right now. Doing a lot of things really well right now. Had a T12 here back in 18. Didn't play here last year. But, I mean, he's played here before and he's done well here before. So, definitely like Lanto. God, I can't believe Molinari is 7,900. That's crazy.
Look how he's been playing, though. He looks terrible.
I know.
It's like, yeah, it'd be nice if he had something going for him, but Molinari can't hit anything. He can't putt. His approach is terrible. I mean,
it's just crazy. Like, I was all over him when he won the British Open, and it's like, what happened?
He played well at the Arnold Palmer, too, last year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to be good the rest of the year, but
everyone was like, Marley's back, and I'm like, no, he's not. Let's pump the brakes here.
That's is that one event? That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Griot. Griot. He's a cash core play for me. Was that what were you gonna say?
He's an interesting case in the 7K range. I'll admit that. Always
an interesting, but. He's played here 4 times, made the cut 3 out of 4 times. T12, T52, T33. Meh form in the off season. T21 at the Sony, which is fine for cash at 7,900. Doesn't grade out terribly. Well, yeah, he's 17th in my GPP model, but he's just god awful at putting. He's god-awful at putting and god-awful at scrambling. Yet he's first in this field in opportunities gained and second in approach and first in greens and regulation. So if he can hit greens and regulation, he shouldn't have to scramble. And if he's good at hitting greens, he should be putting it close. And if he's within 15 feet for birdie, he should be making it because he's first in this field in that. So
also 4th in fairways gained and 12th in good drives.
Excellent. I love it. So, yeah, I'm going to play him in cash because, I think that's a smart thing to do. No champ.
Nope.
Yeah, he hits the ball a fucking mile, but I really worry about his accuracy.
And his putting sucks.
Yes. No Kokrak.
Oh, yeah. No, not after last week where he couldn't do anything on easy courses.
He couldn't putt. He just couldn't putt. That's Kokrak.
He wasn't hitting greens either.
Yep.
He was all over the place.
Yep. No betting on.
Nope.
None of that. Nope. Terrible.
Nope. Oh, he was great after 5 holes. I would have cashed out after 5 holes with that win.
Yes, seriously. Cash that shit out if you had it. Knox. Like Knox.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised. He very well might be a cash play. I haven't decided yet. Last 2 years, T43, T29. So he's made the cut. He's cheap. He grades out well in the GPP model. He is 10th. No red numbers. Everything's pretty solid. Good at avoiding bogeys. Good on approach. Good scrambler. So, yeah, like Knox. Bud Cauley. 14th in the GPP model. I did write him up last week, but I did not play him.
I wrote him up and played him.
Well, fuck off. I write up 20 to 25 people a week, and I build 4 total lineups. So the math there doesn't quite add up. But yeah, so 14 on GPP model, really solid numbers, good at avoiding bogeys, good at scrambling, good on approach, good history here too. Again, 3 out of 4 made cuts in the last 4 years. T13 last year, T58 cut, T25. Definitely like Cauley. Cauley me maybe. No? No? Okay. Never mind.
Oh my.
All right.
You're not that old to be making those jokes.
I think I'm that young. I think that's how you say it.
No.
Anyway.
Yep. Weird transition. Here we go.
Harris English. Cash viable for me. Doesn't grade out terribly well in the GPP model, 54th, but he is an outstanding putter. He is very, very good at putting, especially on POA. My man loves POA. Now, he missed the cut here last year, but he was also putting like garbage coming into this event. In the 4 years before that, T8, T14, T31, T2. So he has a very, very good history at this event. And he's coming in also with decent form. I mean, a 5th at the OHL. T48 last week wasn't great, but it certainly doesn't kill you at 7,400.
And it was just his final day that he really didn't do anything, which is why he dropped 2 strokes. It was just his final day.
Yeah, and that's bad enough dropping 2 strokes, but when everyone else is gaining strokes and you're losing them, it makes it that much worse.
Especially on the final day where you have no room to make it up.
Yep. So yeah, I like English. No Keegan, no Jones. So we will come to my final cash core play of the week.
Let's see if it's one of these 2 guys. Let's see. Go ahead.
It is going to be Talor Gooch.
Nope.
Talor.
Taylor.
Talor. No, it's Talor.
Taylor.
Talor. Talor.
I'm pretty sure he just spells his name wrong.
There's no Y. Tay.
Debatable.
Talor. P3 here last year. P51 the year before. I do have a soft spot in my heart for Talor.
I just like his name, his last name.
Goo.
The Stanky Gooch.
Oh, Gucci goo. T17 last week. I wrote him up last week, didn't play him, but T17 last week, he's coming in hot. He's done well here in the past. He grades out not terrifically well in the GPP model whatsoever, but he's coming in good form. He's got good history here. I think he can do well here. Decent putting, decent on approach, decent hit greens. Oh, I apologize. No Glover. Sabatini. I like Sabatini. 18 to my GPP model. Solid numbers across the board. Decent history here. T70 last year, but then a T20 and a T14. Coming in decent form. I mean, four made cuts between the Amex, the Sony, the RSM, and the OHL. So, yeah, I like a little Aurori Sabatini. And that's it for the 7K range. What do you got?
I have Harris English. I love Harris English, even though he didn't do well on Sunday. Unlike you, he really grades out high in my model in the last 24 rounds. 8th in ball striking, 1st in good drives. His worst category is opportunity to gain at 85. Nothing is in the red.
Holy shit. Frank Petrano just scored a hat trick.
Oh, that's unfortunate for you.
Wow.
He's 5th in par 4 scoring and does really well in these long par 3s. And even though he doesn't have great opportunities gained, he's great at putting. So he is in the top 50 and everything below 20 feet. So, and he's 5th in 3 putt avoid on these types of greens. Never 3 putts, so if he gets it on in a green in regulation, he's most likely making par and not hurting you. And like you said, Lanto is my number 2. Everything you said, like him. Grillo, as we talked about, came 7th in my model, as he's just been amazing, except for his putting. If he finds one good putting week, he could have an amazing week. If he doesn't, hopefully he makes the cut, because it will depend on his putting on these types of surfaces. I will go back to Russell Knox for a 3rd weekend in a row, as he's a steady Eddie. Not going to win you anything, but a top 25, top 30, that'll be good enough for Russell Knox once again, because that's what he does. He's like, at this point, a better Kyle Stanley. Because at least...
Worse Kyle Stanley.
Well, he's a better Kyle Stanley right now. At least he makes the cut.
Yeah, exactly.
He makes the cut, and you don't have to worry about him. I will be on Keegan Bradley. I think he's a better golfer than 7,300. more of a price play. I mean, you look at him last year in these kinds of events, he was 8,000. And he's not terrible here. He's pretty good. He's been actually really good here. T35, 5th, T4th, cut, T41. Does anything of those but the cut at 7,300 is good for his value. So I like him. Not great in the model. Hasn't been 54th. Opportunities gained and driving distance in the red. Nothing exciting, but like a lot of these guys, they come in, don't play a lot, do good at this event. Golfers just love Torrey Pine. Some of these guys just love coming here. The challenge. I'll play Mr. Bucket Cap Joel Dahmen. 21st in my model. The only red figures, driving distance, good drives, and par 3 scoring, but everything else is top 40. And he has played here twice last 5 years. T9 and a cut. So
One of the
for 7,400, I'll take a right in between because right in between will be fine. And then Bubba Watson, 3,500. It's going to be an interesting week. He's good at putting on POAs. Number 1 in 3-putt avoidance on POA greens. Hasn't played here in the last 5 years. Won it in 2011, though. But when he's played well. In his last 6 rounds here, which is all on the South course, because they don't, like last weekend, they only shot track the South course because PGA can't afford tracking on the other course, apparently.
Expensive.
Yeah, PGA is desperate for money.
Have one course. Most events, you only have to buy enough shit for one course.
It's Torrey Pines. This is
the one. 3 sets of shit for something you only need most of the time for 1 week.
But they know these events are played every year. They should have it. You think over multiple years. But anyways, he's first in tee to green his last 6 rounds. So his last 2. What?
No, I'm still on the shot tracker thing. No.
Yes.
All right.
You know, I'll go buy him for him. There, just give me a shot tracker at these events so I can look at it. First in tee to green his last 6 rounds. So his last 2 times playing this, he's made the cut. He's played that course 3 times, and he's been first tee to green. Which is ironic because he sucked at putting in short game. Everything else is great. But Bubba is probably, at his age and where he's at, the most inconsistent golfer. So you don't know what you're getting out of Bubba, but I mean, 7,500 for Bubba Watson. I still think he has something left in the tank. He still shows that he can still be good at times.
Yeah. And
that will do it. So it was Harris English, Griffin, Grillo, Knox, Bradley, Dahmen, and Bubba Watson.
Damon.
I like Dahmen.
All right, 6K. Hit us with it.
Here we go. Mr. Either I get 10 birdies in a round or I get -5 bogeys. Sepp Straka.
What?
Sepp Straka. This guy, if he plays that North course the first day, it'll be great because the South course might hurt him a little bit, but on easy courses, he dominates. He's played here last year, T13. That's also the only time in the last 5 years. Not recent form. Not great at putting. But, I mean, in his 3 of 10 cuts, he has 2 top 5s in those 3 cuts he made. Because he is another true or boom or bust guy, depending on how many birdies he makes. Grades out actually well in my model for missing all those cuts. Just 18th, but everything's right in the middle, so nothing's too dramatic, good or bad. At 6,900, if he has a good North course day and just goes off for 7-8 under, which you never know with him, but he has the capabilities to every time because he is a birdie machine if he's on, which he was last weekend, as he just went off. And then I'll give Jason Hadley, the 6K range, nothing really excited me, so I was just trying to pick like every time. Most times, especially in a strong field, it's hard to find good 6K guys. Jason Hadley, he's good at putting. Cut T23, T58 at this event. Graded out well, 19th in model for playing some weaker events in the wraparound season. 5-7 cuts.
Chesson Hadley.
Another
Chesson Hadley.
Yeah, sure, Taylor.
Taloar.
2 top 25s in his 5-7 cuts and T29 last week. If he makes a cut, like any of these 6K guy range, if they make the cut, that's all you need. Anything else is a bonus. Allows you to, if you're paying up for studs. If you're going balance build, don't need them. You want to get 1-2 studs in, then you just hopefully they make the cut and your top guys go off. Doc Redman, never played here, concerning, but for 6,500 for a guy that is showing that he can do something on the PGA Tour, he's younger. I think he's 22, 23, somewhere in there.
Sure.
12th in the model, 3 top 25, 7 of 10 cuts, T29 last week. And then, just like Jason Day, I have a 6,900 guy that is a Jason Day, but 2,100 cheaper. You know, can you even guess? Terrible by model, but course history is off the charts.
Terrible in your model.
Terrible in everybody's model.
JB Holmes.
Yes, JB Holmes.
Holmes.
I mean, what? I don't like JB Holmes, but he loves this course.
Missed the cut last year.
But fourth the year before. T33, T6, T2.
A lot can happen in a year.
It can. But 4 or 5 years, you have one bad year. For 6,900, are you really going to dog a guy that has 3 top 10s in the past 5 years here?
No.
I mean, he doesn't great. I'm not going to put him on, be super high on him because of how awful he's been. But again, if you want making a few lineups, you need a pump play, get a guy that's played amazing here. Then one last guy that has done us dirty in the past 2 weeks that I just said his name. Kyle Stanley still grades out well.
Yeah, I'm not doing it this week.
Which means this is the week he'll do something, you know that.
And that's fine. You can have him, and you can have your Kyle Stanley victory this week. I'm done.
He's turning into.
I'm not letting Kyle Stanley turn into my Anders Albertson from last year. Okay, I'm not letting it happen. I'm done with Kyle Stanley.
Oh, he's getting cheaper though. He's 6,800. He's made 4 or 5 cuts. He ranks so high in the model too. What's he in your model?
What's Stanley in my model?
Yep.
15.
Exactly. But what's he bad at?
Putting. Proximity, 175 to 200. Birdie or better. Par 5 scoring. Scrambling. Playing golf at this moment.
He's accurate off the tee. All around approach is good. 26 in ball striking. I'm just saying, one of these weeks, he's going to make a cut. He's too good. He's not too good, but he's good enough to make cuts with history.
I went through this same exact thing last year with Kyle Stanley, and it never worked out.
I had success with Kyle Stanley last year.
Stop making Kyle Stanley a thing. It's never going to be a thing.
It's not supposed to be a thing. It's a punt play. If you need a punt play, there he is. Okay, you got to pick one. JB Holmes, Kyle Stanley, pick one.
JB Holmes.
Okay, there you go.
Michael Thompson.
I'm not playing no Michael Thompson. That guy's... Oh, JB Holmes has better course history than Michael Thompson. Let me see this. Oh, Thompson's 115th in the mile. Holmes is 106 in mine. I'll take JB Holmes over Michael Thompson with better course history. Get out of here with your trash, Michael Thompson.
More recently better history, though. Who got cut last year and who finished T13th last year?
Okay, let's look at the years before that. Who finished 4th last year and who missed the cut the 2018?
Dude, you're going back 2 years. That's a lifetime.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, but we're talking about Tiger Woods that finished T20th.
My oldest kid was still shitting in a bag 2 years ago, all right?
Oh, well, you're about to in 2 years. So
You're
when
right.
Kyle Stanley and JB Holmes.
I hire you to come and give me sponge baths.
You know what? It's Kyle Stanley. He's not an amazing play, but he's like a JB Holmes. You just need him to make the cut. I think he can make the cut this week. That's all I'm saying.
You better bet money on him to win after this conversation. You better put it fucking outright on him.
I'm not boasting him like he's gonna win the event.
Throw a ducat. Just throw a ducat or two on him just to
Top
have
50.
it.
Give me a top 50. I think he comes top 50.
All right, there you go.
T43. That's what I'm calling him. T43. Write it down. I'm writing it down. Stanley, T43, and
I bet he does worse. What are
okay,
we?
what'd you
Right,
say?
we're gonna make a bet. We're gonna make a bet on the air right now. Kyle Stanley, T43.
I have it. T43 or what? Like I have to get right on the number while you get everything else?
Just better or worse? You think T43 or better? I'm saying worse.
Okay, I'll take better. You take worse.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Yep, that's what I agreed upon.
What's the wager?
50?
$50?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you were gonna make me like lick my own asshole or something.
50 grand.
Okay. 50 grand. Whoa! I'll choose the asshole instead.
Okay, that's it. So mine was Straka, Hadley, Redmond, Holmes, Stanley. Go ahead with your amazing 6K range with your garbage Michael Thomas.
All right, yeah, I'm with you on Straka. Definitely with you on Straka. I see the case for JB. I didn't have him clicked, but I see the case for it. Yeah, for Michael Thompson, he's a punt, like you said. Kind of like Kyle Stanley. T13 last year. Doesn't grade out well in the model whatsoever, but he has done well here in the past. Kevin Streelman, 23rd.
I was mad I took him out. I readjusted, and I saw him going off. It's just, when I readjusted, it just was bad, and then I shouldn't have done that for him.
Yeah, well, he missed the cut here last year, came in third in 2016, T67, T29, showing up at my model, so he's played here a bunch of times. Just really good birdie or better, really good par 5, really good proximity numbers, decent putter. These are punts. Again, you're just looking for a made cut.
He's like a poor man's Matt Kuchar.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty fair comparison, I'd say. Where did you go? Norlander. I'm going back to Henrik Norlander. Hasn't let me down yet, unlike Anders Albertson did last year. Multiple times.
I don't know why you're playing him.
Who, Norlander?
No. Albertson.
Oh, because that was a thing last year. Believe me, I still haven't.
I think you're the only one on that thing.
I'm reading my articles from last year, and I'm like, why was this a thing? What was I doing?
Count how many times I played Kyle Stanley then.
He was 4th in my model for this week last year. 4th.
Out of 5 people?
I'm just saying. I said, I'm going right back to the well with this kid until he burns me. Boy, did he burn me. He was $100 less expensive than Jason Kokrak. Anyways, we're getting off touch. Hasn't really played here much. Missed the cut in 17, T43 in 16. But he's playing strong golf. I mean, he really rebounded. To make the cut last week. Really good on par 5s. Really good at hitting greens. Good on approach. Decent putter. So, yeah, I'm going to do the Northlander. And finally, my last play for this week, Bobby Streb. Oh, no, I do have one after him. Second to last, Bobby Streb, Robert Streb, 6,200. All right. Last 4 years, T29, 66, T9, T18.
So a poor man's JB Holmes.
That's fine. Why is everyone going to be a poor man someone else?
They're in the 6K range. They're a poor man of somebody.
That's fair. That's fair. So, yeah, not really grading out well in the GPP model, but decent history here within the last 4 years. No missed cuts. Unlike JB Holmes.
How many top 10s does he have?
1.
Exactly. No, top 10s here. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
He's 1.
Yeah.
How many top 5s does he have?
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
Fine. Top 6s.
Top 6. And my last play, again, these are puns, $6,100. John, huh?
You just like his name.
John, huh? Yeah, 5 years. Last 5 years. T25, T45, 76, T8, T45. Last 5 years, 5 made cuts here. Terrible. Grades out. Just terrible in the GPP model. I mean, bad. Like 125th.
Oh, don't worry. I got him at 110.
But not coming in bad form. Putting really well. He's been putting really well. Missed a couple cuts in the swing season because his tee to green sucked. But he was consistently gaining strokes.
He makes a cut. You could see 70, 80 points out of him.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, for how easy the North course is. It just depends on how he does on the North course. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
With all these cheap guys, how do you do on the North course? And can you just manage the South course?
Yeah, exactly.
With all these cheap guys, if you see your guy go off on the North course, you're just hoping, play even par the rest of the time, and most of the time, you're going to make the cut.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much to it. So that's it. I'm going to finish with John Who. And remember,
I did look at
43, T43.
T43. You're going to be sweating it. I know on the last day.
I am going to be sweating it until he for like a little bit on Thursday, and then he's just going to miss the cut on Friday.
Watch, he's going to pull something that you're going to just be mad at yourself. I might play him on my main lineup just to mess with you.
Inevitable. He's going to win.
He's going because you didn't play him. I think you're the curse to Kyle Stanley. That's why he isn't doing anything for me.
I am the Kyle Stanley cuck. I just sit in the corner and watch.
Watch your lineups go down with Kyle Stanley.
Anders Alberts. All right. All right. Do you have anything else?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I think we've covered some tonight. I know the value plays has been a popular question lately, so why don't you give me your top 3 value plays there, and I'll give you mine, and then we'll make fun of each other.
Kyle Stanley. No, it's not Kyle Stanley. For lower mid-range, Harris English, 7,400. If you 6,900, Sepp Straka. And then I'm looking for who would be if I had to pick another low 7K range guy.
Or high 7K, whatever.
High 7K. For GPPs, I won't mind Grillo.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted just cheaper Jason Day, JB Holmes.
There you go. Yeah, for me it's probably Knox. I'm with you on English. Knox, English. And I might do a little Sepp Straka too. I like a little Sepp Straka. I'm with you down there. So, all right. If there is nothing else, that will do it for us this week, Nation. Thank you for tuning in, playing along. Thank you for taking off your sunglasses. All right. Enjoy the Farmers Insurance Open. Our articles will be out tomorrow. The event doesn't start till noon, East Coast time. So, 9 o'clock on the West Coast.
You're good at time.
So, all right. For Shocky at Clint Potrikis. I am BrewMedic47 at that very same handle. Thank you all for tuning in, Nation. Good luck. We'll go and kill it this week, all right? Peace out, everyone. Bye.